Town Council begins budget talks and finalizes a town manager contract on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, June 8th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. Town Council gives the nod to operating budgets for several town departments, but more work is still to be done. While Council didn't vote to add a special meeting on the 14th, they will have budget items left to discuss when they meet next on June 21st. The first item up for discussion was the $11 million fiscal 13 police department budget.
To that end, I'd like to begin with the police department and say that the police department budget represents 8% of the overall general fund budget. This is the second largest operating budget after the school department. 94% of the operation is financed with taxes, with the other 6% raised through fines, fees, licenses, and administrative charges for outside detail work. 35% of the general fund savings will be used to balance the FY13 proposed budget.
Thank you for this opportunity for this annual budget presentation for the Barnstable Police Department. Our mission statement: the members of the Barnstable Police Department strive to work in partnership with our community in seeking out and solving problems in order to enhance our quality of life. We are committed to preserving the lives, property, and rights of all our citizens through proactive policing strategies.
Chief McDonald discussed the goals for fiscal 2013.
2013 budget assumptions. The fiscal year 13 Police Department budget is increasing $177,512, or 1.6%. The personnel costs are increasing $445,190. This covers all contractual pay increases as well as an increase of 1.5 full-time equivalents. One sworn officer position is being restored from the fiscal year 11 early retirement incentive. We lost one officer, and according to the rules, he could not be replaced in fiscal year 12. So this year in fiscal year 13, we are going to bring the position back, hopefully. The part-time domestic violence victim witness position is being increased to full-time. She has worked full-time for the past 2 years, but half that position was being funded through the VAWA grants, the Violence Against Women Act. That grant is no longer available to us. This is a key personnel for customer service. This personnel we would like to see brought back to full-time position. An increase of $35,000 of additional overtime for the street crime unit. When we started the street crime unit, that was totally absorbed within our current operating budget. There was no special money allocated for the street crime unit. This $35,000 will allow them to conduct several special investigations, also to cover their additional court costs that are coming up. Again, they've arrested almost 650 individuals, so their court time is going to increase this coming year.
That budget was approved. Next up, the school department.
Well, we have a lot to be grateful for, and this Saturday we'll graduate 408 students that will go on to some quite impressive colleges. So I guess what I'd like to do tonight is to begin with the proposal for our FY13 budget, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Gareth, Mark Milne, our entire administrative staff, and the staff of teachers and school councils that make up this budget. And this budget began approximately 10 months ago, and a lot of thought and input has gone into the budget. It's a level service budget with some targeted program enhancements. But what it allows us to do is we're in the middle of negotiations with our unions, and we've accounted for our out-of-district tuitions. Our math coaches we're undergoing an accreditation at our high school. So I'd like to begin the presentation this evening with our core values. And these are values that I have seen for the past year maintained in each of our schools. Our children have the right to every opportunity to achieve their potential. Each person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Integrity and personal responsibility are the hallmarks of our daily actions.
The school department's $55.9 million budget was approved. Counselors next tackled the growth management department budget, a requested $901,000.
Proposed FY13 budget for the growth management department is $901,437. This is an increase of $60,590 over the FY12 approved budget. The growth in personnel costs includes an increase of .50 full-time equivalents as a position that was formerly funded through the state Adams Grant program, and it's being added to this budget in order to continue the town's investment in town-wide arts programs. There are no changes in the department's operating expenses. Tax support will increase $97,590 in FY13 in order to fund this department's operations. And I'll turn to Joanne Mellabuntage, who is the Director of Growth Management, for her budget presentation.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for the early entry. And I don't want anybody to think this means I now have the third largest budget. So just let's not go there. Growth Management is pleased to present its budget for 2013. As the manager noticed, we are asking for a little bit of increase. We'll get to that towards the end. We want to show you a little bit of what we've been up to this year. We're guided by the mission statement, which are, as are all departments, the mission statement and the administrative code. And as we implement the mission, we sort of filter that through three broad areas, which is the natural environment, the economy, and the built environment and infrastructure. We do that through the 6 growth management programs: community development, comprehensive planning, economic development, property management, regulatory review, and traffic engineering.
After approving growth management, council moved on to the airport's $7 million budget request.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The charges for services provide 90% of the funding for the airport. A majority of this revenue comes from the sale of jet fuel. Operating budget expenses have increased from $5,272,056 in FY10 to $7,349,458 in FY13, mainly due to the rising cost of jet fuel. There are significant budget changes that I could review, but Bud Brialt always does a fine job with this, so I think I'll turn it over to the Airport Executive Director.
Our new chairman, Ron Pursuti, has set the following short-term goals for the airport. First, we will diversify and develop new sources of revenue to broaden our economic base, such as a new jet fuel volume discount program that could mean more fuel sales and increased revenues. We have not implemented it yet, but we are hoped to do so very soon. Second, we will initiate the process for the development of certain parcels of land owned by the airport, and whenever possible, we will involve the private sector. Third, we will develop a strategic plan for the next 12 months to set a course for the long-term future of the airport, and our first planning session is scheduled for June 20th. And lastly, we will continue to develop community awareness of the airport, and we would gladly accept invitations from community groups to speak on matters pertaining to the airport.
Councilors also approved that budget, and they approved public works budgets as well. The last item of the day was the town manager contract being offered to acting town manager Tom Lynch. The council entered into executive session to discuss the terms and then came back into public session to take a vote.
2012-147, approval of a contract with Thomas K. Lynch as the Barnstable town manager and its execution as written.
Second. Thank you very much. Do we have any discussion with regard to this item further? I have a question to move the question. I have a motion to move the question in a second. All in favor of moving this item? That's unanimous, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Do we have a call for a roll call on this? Madam Clerk, if we could have a roll call, please.
Councillor Rugo.
Yes.
Councillor Tinsley. Yes. Councillor Barton. Yes. Councillor Kennedy.
No.
Councillor Chirigotis.
Yes.
Councillor Cote.
Yes.
Councillor Cullum.
Yes.
Councillor Dagwan. Yes. Councillor Daly.
Yes.
Councillor Rep Grassetti.
Yes.
Councillor Hersey.
Yes.
Councillor Jocham.
Yes.
Councillor Norman.
No.
Vice President Barton, did you get her vote? She voted.
I got a yes.
Okay, she got it.
For Vice President Barton, and I have 2 noes and 11 yes.
Thank you. And if the record could reflect, Madam Clerk, Councilor Kennedy, Councilor Norman have voted no. That's 11-2 vote. That passes.
The town manager contract will become effective on June 17th. We'll hear more about that when acting town manager Tom Lynch joins us on Monday morning's Barnstable This Morning. Town council meets again June 21st and expects to complete the rest of budget discussion, including regulatory services, community services, the town council, and town manager budgets. You can watch last night's meeting in its entirety at the town's website. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.